Oh, seven commanders. My name's Commander Will Fearion, call sign Foxtrot Echo 1 of the Vortex Squadron. We are here today to talk a little bit about something that really nobody's talking about, Orthrus hunting. There are several ways that you can help progress the alert to 100%, which will stop the alert and possibly avoid having an invasion in a few days from now. On Thursday, next Thursday, there will be a tick, which is when the server resets everything, and that's when we will know whether or not we have averted the invasion. There's already a lot of videos out there about how to rescue. I actually have a video. You can check it out if you like in a T8. Today, I'm going to show you something that very few people talk about because it's actually really difficult. We're going to look at Reaper, and we're going to talk about Orthrus hunting. All right, so back in the day, they had Orthrus hunting, and it was very, very difficult, even more difficult than it is now. I'm going to go over that today, but first we'll go over the ship build so you can kind of see what I'm doing here, because I've had to make some adjustments because of the way that the Orthrus are spawning in the system. You need a certain number of Orthrus to be able to thwart an alert system. A lot of people are going to be doing rescues and whatnot, but we are going to do it this way. We're going to try to help out in this way with the Orthruses. So first of all, we've got Guardian Shard Cannons. These are called, many times you might hear them called mod shards. These are the ones you get from Ambuni. You have to get them with a permit, and so you have to get reputation built up with, I believe it's Azimuth Biotech, and then you can get into Ambuni. And there's a little guy back there, in a little Guardian Tech broker in there at the Prospects Rest, I believe it's called. Might not be that exactly, but in any event, I don't expect you to get these cannons. If you want, you can also use the regular Guardian cannons. You do have to unlock those as well. You can also use the Sirius AX missile racks, but you got to be very accurate with those because they're slower. And if you miss a volley on the Thargoids, you might not get another shot at them. They'll get away. They're much faster than what you might have seen at a Spire site. So these are the two. They're all 2A Guardian Shard Cannons, long range. They're pre-engineered, so nothing to do there. You don't have to do that. Now, I'm also bringing, just for funsies, I have two beam lasers that are long range thermal vent. Probably not totally that necessary, but we're going to take them anyway, commanders, because that's how we roll. This is the part that gets a little tricky. So in the utility mounts, we have 1, 2, 3 heatsink launchers. Then we've got, and these are all pre-engineered, 4 heatsink launchers, 5, 6 heatsink launchers. So we have about 35 heat sinks. And you'll understand why we need these in a few minutes, commanders. You do need this shutdown field neutralizer because the Orthrus, the minute it figures out that you're there, it will do a pulse wave burst and shut down your ship. If your ship gets shut down for 30 seconds, you will not have enough time to recover and kill the Orthrus. So make sure you get him the first time, commanders. So we have 1 caustic sink. That should be enough, I'm hoping. These ships are kind of, depending on how the run goes, you could technically not be completely damaged, but the Orthrus runs away from you. The Anaconda is very slow, and he also puts out a really toxic caustic wake behind the Orthrus, and he calls in reinforcements to tackle your ship to get it off track, and it works sometimes. And so there's a lot of things to unpack, commanders. This is one of the most hardest things I've ever had to do in the game, outside of when we had to go make caustic sinks. So here you are. You got all that. Then you've got the core internals. Now we have a military grade composite heavy duty armor deplating. It's okay. We got an 8A overcharged monster power plant. This thing needs a lot of power. Okay. We've also got dirty drive tuning, drag drives. We've got an SCO on here, increased FST range, mass manager. We have the life support as miscellaneous lightweights, not a big deal. You're not gonna, if you're gonna, if you don't make it, you're not gonna get your, probably you're not gonna lose your atmosphere. So we're not too worried about that. Power distributor. We have a weapon-focused power distributor with super conduits. Basically, I wanted to put all I've got into those weapons to blow the Orthrus away. They're not easy to kill, commanders. They're easy to kill when there's 15 of you, but when you're solo, it's not so easy. Sensors, long-range scanners, so we can make sure we know when the Orthrus is coming in. And we'll get into that. Hopefully, there'll be some signal sources. If not, I might have to wait a little while and pause the video and do a break, but we'll see. So, now, in this one, okay, so what we got here today, some of the Orthruses are spawning about 500,000 light seconds from the nav beacon. That's a long way, commanders. This ship is not really designed to do what we're doing today. So I do have an extra 7C fuel tank capacity 128 and an extra fuel tank 6C 64 capacity. This thing's got a lot of fuel, okay? It needs a lot of fuel because if we're going to try to SCO our way over to an Orthrus signal source that's 500,000 light seconds away, we need all the fuel we can get. Because these are not Mandalays, okay? This is a beefy beast. We got Guardian hull reinforcements. Obviously, you need those to make sure the ship doesn't get damaged. The Guardian hull reinforcements also protect you from caustic damage, and this thing will release an unholy amount of caustic damage. You need this experimental weapon stabilizer, this 5F here, because, as you know, to have more than 4 AX weapons on your ship, you have to have a stabilizer to keep them working. Then we got another Guardian reinforcement and another one and a module. We do have one module reinforcement in here at least. We got 2. I actually put 2 in here. Probably don't need that many, but you know what? It's whatever keeps your windshields from blowing out. Now the Guardian module reinforcements, you have to get the anti-Guardian zone resistance on them, and because otherwise the Orthrus will melt these immediately. The Guardian hulls do not need the reinforcements, so don't bother with those. So just the hulls are fine. I have a lot of hull on here, probably have way more than I need, but that's okay. Too much is never enough. And then of course you have to have your advanced docking computer and your advanced planetary suite. So that should cover it for the Anaconda. And it's also, if you have that decal on the top, it makes it even better. Now we're going to go ahead, we're going to get out of here. I'm going to show you how to do this to start out. This is a good way. I'm not going to say the best because somebody say, this is not efficient or whatever. Okay, so, sorry, I went off on a tangent there. All right, so we're going to launch out of here. We've already tagged up the nav beacon. I believe. Lock it. We're going to lock it in. And I went ahead and filtered this to only show me signal sources because that's really all I care about right now. So we're going to get out of here. We'll let this thing get out of the dock here. And hopefully we're going to get lucky. We're going to get some Orthrus. Orthrus are very sporadic. They have no rhyme or reason. They show up when they show up. And you only have a certain amount of time on each signal source to get out there and engage. So I have set this ship up, hopefully, for success to get out there, engage the Orthrus if they're out far. Now, if they're close, that's great. You can just engage them, close, but as normal. But if you're going to have to, if you've only got 10 minutes to go to if you're only going to have 10 minutes to get to a signal source that's 500,000 light seconds away, you're going to have to do a little work on that. So we're going to do that today. We're going to hopefully have all this good to go. We're going to get our weapons up. We're going to get our engines up to speed here, and we're going to go ahead and make our way over to the nav beacon. This is how you start, okay? Once we get to the nav beacon, we will have some more things to do. Okay, we're going to get out here. We're going to go to the nav beacon. And because right now you really probably can't see anything, so you can't see anything. Once we get to that nav beacon, We're going to go ahead and fill that up so we can see what's out there. So hopefully we will get to this nav beacon. I don't usually use the SCO drive like to go to the nav beacon, only because I'm trying to conserve as much fuel as possible. It really runs your Anaconda low on fuel when you do this. So be prepared, commanders. It also is very helpful if you have your heatsink on a key on your keyboard so that you can just shoot them at will. And also the caustic sink launcher you cannot put on a key, so you do have to have it on a fire group, which you can see on the right hand side of my screen. It's in a fire group. We're gonna head out here. We're getting in close, so we're gonna get a little bit of light shine on us, and then we'll be able to see hopefully here shortly. So I'm coming back. I got to throttle back here soon. 876. We got to throttle back. We're going to throttle back. The sun should calm the heck down now that we're a little closer to it. And then we're going to try to avoid as much of the gravity as possible. So we're just making a little bit of a wide berth around this thing so we can get right to the nav beacon. All right. So we're going to go to the nav beacon. And we're going to scan it as soon as we get in there. Yeah, this takes a second, commanders. You got to be patient. Orthrus hunting is not a quick thing. Okay. It's something that you really have to have a taste for it. You know what I mean? It's one of those things you need to be patient. You're not always going to get a target. Sometimes you're going to have to wait around, do other things, whatever. It's really hard. This is one of the hardest things they did in the game. At least now I know where they are, what signal sources they're in, stuff like that. So I'll talk to you about that here in a second. We're just waiting for this nav beacon to let me in. And then we will continue. Come on, guys. Come on. Here we go. We're almost there. There we go. We're in. All right. We're going to go ahead and we're going to scan up that nav beacon. Now, the nav beacon's never where that circle is. You got to go down. See right there? That's the nav beacon. And if you're close enough to it, you'll see down on the bottom left, it says navigation scanning, and it's scanning the beacon right now. So once that beacon is scanned, it'll say so. You see on the right, it says scan complete. We're going to go ahead and take off, and we're going to get back up into Super Cruise, commanders. So we're going to go ahead and go. We just needed to do that this one time. We need to do it. It just helps a lot when you do it. And now we're going to go ahead and get up into the Super Cruise. And we're going to back away from the sun just a little bit so we can make sure we can see everything. Because otherwise signal sources can get hidden behind suns and stuff, and we don't want to deal with that. All right, so we're going to go ahead, and now we're going to look. Okay, right now there is no Orthrus present. Where they will show up is you will see non-human signal source threat 4. This is not it, but this one can be important too. Now, as you can see here, you've got this one's like 4,000 away. This one's 537,879. So 538,000 light seconds. That's a long way. So we're going to have to wait, and so I will pause this video and be right back when I get a signal source. Alrighty, commanders, I am back. We have found a non-human signal source, threat 4. It's not super far away, but it's far enough away. We probably could get there on normal power without using the SCO drive, but if you want to, you can use it. This is very tricky though. So I'm gonna go full speed ahead, and then I'm gonna hit the SCO. Just make sure you got your heat sinks on standby, because you're gonna need them. Let's do it. We're going to fly over there. As soon as that heat gets up, just keep shooting. Just keep shooting them. Shooting out until you get closer. And just shoot a couple heat sinks. Now you see why I have so many. Okay, we should be. I got a little bit wonky there, but we should be okay. We shouldn't be too far. Yeah, sink deployed. Heck yeah. Alright, so now we should be okay. We're going to turn around. Well, you know. It wasn't perfect. But, you know, it is what it is. You can't always get them all 100%, can you, commanders? Darn shame. So we're going to go ahead and hit this signal source 4. Threat 4. And, oops. And that's something you don't really want to do when you're going to a signal source. I don't have a what's that called? Super cruise assist. I don't have that on this ship. Maybe I should get one. It looks like I need it. All right, we're gonna come in here. Commanders coming in around, coming around, coming around, coming around. All right, we should be right there any second. Now, 3 things you got to make sure you do, Commanders. One is you got to make sure your pips are all into weapons and sys. Well, no, engines. I'm sorry. You want mostly weapons, and then you want some engine, and you want some sys. You shouldn't have to be doing a whole lot with engines, and you shouldn't have to be doing a whole lot with sys, but when you fire off a bunch of heat sinks and stuff, you need to have sys. Caustic sinks and heat sinks use system power. But if you can help it, then just go ahead and do like 3 to weapons and 2 to 1.5 to engine, 1.5 to sys, whatever it comes out to be. If you can get 3-2-2, that's amazing. I think it's 3-1-1 is actually where it would come out, but we'll see. We'll see how it works this time. We're gonna go in. Another thing you want to turn on, make sure you turn on your lights. And another thing, right when you drop out, go ahead and get your weapons out. And make sure you're in you're in combat mode, okay? Now you'll find out right away. We're just gonna go ahead and stop. We're gonna wait for a minute, and hopefully the Orthrus is gonna pop out here and give us a fright. Here he comes. There's Orthrus right there. So the Orthrus will go to where the probe should be. If the probe's not there, that's okay. It doesn't matter. He'll still pretend like it's there, and he'll still go after it. So we'll go get him. We got weapons. We got to get him out. There we go. Hopefully this time it goes well. Okay, so he's going over. He's going to stick his little tongue out there. You'll be able to see it when we get a little closer to him. Just walk right up to him. You don't even have to do anything special because he's not going to take off just yet. Target him. Heat sink. Ready? First. Made it. Heat sink. Heat sink. Try to stay out of the wake if you can. Another heat sink. Oop, damn it, missed it. There he goes. And she's a goner. Okay, now you get out. If you want to screw around with the other ships, that's fine, but you don't need to. Sorry, I got so excited I forgot to cool off my ship. Alright, we're basically done.